Hello, people. Welcome to ProUp Masterclass. My name is Tola T.A. Alabi. And today I want to spend some time telling you a story of an experience I had. And I stay in the same city with my parents. I think it's a huge privilege, you understand? So whenever I have to see my parents, I don't have to travel, which a lot of people have to do. A lot of people have moved away from home, so they're staying in another city. Some people are staying in another country. But I have the privilege of seeing my parents almost every week, at least once a week. Do you understand? I see them every week. And so our communication is pretty easy. And so on this particular day, I had gone out to see my parents. And they stay in an estate, a flat in an estate. And when I got to the estate and I was going up to their flat, when I got to their door, because I normally go into the house through their back door. You understand? Because I'm familiar. You understand? So I go into the house through the back door. There's no need going to the front door to ring the bell and stuff like that. So I go into the house through the back door. And when I got to the back door, I saw a cat just sitting at the door and obviously just waiting to go in. And so I was, it wasn't my first time seeing a cat in the estate. Over years, there have been cats in the estate, and we've had a cat once. I had a cat once in the estate before I got married and moved out. You understand? So it wasn't my first time seeing it, but normally cats, they can be very elusive, especially the ones that you see around in the estate. So whenever I see them, they kind of move away. They never come towards you, so they kind of run under a car to wait for you to pass by. And so, but this one was actually confidently waiting at the door of my parents' apartment. And I tried sending it away, but then it was just there, just stayed there. And so I was very conscious of the door being opened for me. But when the door was open, I realized that the cat just walked in. And I asked, whose cat is this? Because the cat just stayed at the entrance of the kitchen. And but then it was comfortable staying there and nobody shooed it away. And I asked my mom, I said, whose cat is this? I said, that's your dad's cat. Oh, he the cat just came to our door and your dad just started feeding it. He has been feeding it for some days now. And he just goes out and buys cat food and he feeds the cat. And that was kind of surprising to me because I'd never seen that side of my dad before. Um, I'm more of an animal lover. You understand? I like animals. I want to have pets. I find them interesting. But I've never seen that side of my dad to just feed a random cat. But my mom told me, yeah, he has been feeding this cat for some reason. He just goes and buys cat food for a number of days now. So the cat comes every day to the house at a particular time to ask for food. And when my dad came, he actually confirmed the fact that he had been feeding the cat. And this is where I want to make a point. Some of you are parents. Some of you are not parents yet. You're going to be parents sometime in the near future. Some of you might never be parents. But then, this is what I want to say about parenting and children, or parents and children. A lot of parents do not realize what their kids would remember them for are the small things, not the grand things. A lot of people, I'll say that again, a lot of parents don't realize that what your children will remember you for are the small things, seemingly small things, not the grand things. And that's why with parenting, a lot of people see parenting as the core of parenting is provision. You understand? So a lot of people think, as a parent, my core duty is just to provide, make sure my children don't need anything. That's good. It's important, but it's not the core. The core of parenting is to express value that your children can see. That's the biggest gift you can give your children. To express your value as a human being, for your children to behold and to see. That inner value, those things, your essence. That's the biggest gift you can give your children. It's not the school fees you pay for them to attend. Not those things. Not the sacrifices. It's the expression. It's the expression of your life, the honest expression of your life. And you see, that day when my mom told me that thing, I had some newfound respect for my dad. I have respect for my dad, but this was newfound respect. I just became a little boy again, looking up to him as a hero. And I thought, my dad went out of his way to feed a cat that was not his cat. And he went out and spent his money and was feeding this cat. And that greatly impressed me. And I don't think my dad even knows how much that greatly impressed me, but it greatly impressed me. I was really, really impressed by that, by that act of giving. So he didn't need to give to like a big charity or stuff like that. He just gave to an animal. You understand, that seemed insignificant, and that really showed me the kindness in my dad's heart. So yeah, I was very impressed by that. So the cat kept on showing up. So every time we went to visit our parents, we just always saw the cat there. The cat was always there. But the cat never slept in the house. It just always came and was fed, and then it would go again and come back and eat and go again and come back. So obviously it belongs to someone in the estate who is not taking really good care of it. But then it just felt it felt loved in my parents' apartment. So it just comes and goes. And I think another thing I learned here is the ability to give without trying to own. Without trying to own. It's a special thing. You know, my parents were feeding this cat, but not trying to own it. They were not saying, okay, we are going to feed it, but it has to sleep in their house. It now has to become their cat. It has to spend time in the house. So it was a very refreshing thing to just see that they were giving the cat food to eat and laying food for it outside. Sometimes the cat just come and meet the food. They will lay the cat and the food in a little white plate for it, and it will come and eat and just go. You understand? It, that's so rare to find in today's world. That ability to give without trying to own, and we do that a lot with our fellow human beings too. When we give to them, and we just feel okay because we've given them money, we have to control their lives now and tell them what they should do with their lives. That's the kind of giving I see a lot. That giving that comes at the cost of your personal freedom if you are the receiver. You understand? So when people will give you stuff, they give you clothes or shoes or stuff, and they're watching. Are you wearing that? Are you wearing that shoe? Are you wearing it well? Don't spoil it, or that kind of thing. We need to give and give freely and give away, not trying to own. So that was interesting to me too, that they could give and spend their resources on buying food for this thing that even wasn't staying there. You understand? It wasn't staying there. It still was going away and living its own life. But that's not where I'm going. What happened some days later was I was at my parents' place, and someone else came, and person was talking about the cat, about this new cat that was at their door. And person said, "Do you know that cat is pregnant?" And you know what? I'd never up until that time, I'd never seen a pregnant cat before. And obviously my dad didn't know the cat was pregnant. And person said, "That cat is pregnant. That cat is pregnant. It's soon going to give birth." I know cats, they're kind of different from a lot of other animals. They're very elegant in nature. They're very elegant. And so when you look at other animals like dogs and goats, you can tell when they are pregnant. They have this huge bulge um, around their midsection. So you can see it affects the way they walk and stuff like that. But cats are still very elegant when they are pregnant. So they have a slight bulge. You understand? They never have a huge bulge. It's very slight. And so you can always confuse them for a cat that has had a big meal. You understand? But they still have the same the same balance that they would have walking on a very thin path. You understand? Their reflexes doesn't affect their reflexes. They're still very agile in their movement, and they still have this elegant gait. So it was very, I never knew. And the guy said, look at it, just look at that bulge around the stomach. That is a pregnant cat. And I was like, wow, that cat is pregnant. And obviously during that time of pregnancy, it really needed food, and which it wasn't getting from its owner. And that's why it came around the estate and came to my parents' apartment for a reason. And I was just so in awe that a pregnant cat, even though my dad did not know it was pregnant, was able to touch an emotional string in my dad's mind to give it what it needed at that time to survive that phase. So that touched me a lot. I'm like, wow, it got the help just when it needed it the most in its life. Um, so that touched me. But then let's fast forward. All this happened last year. Now, just last week, I went out shopping, and I went to a supermarket very close to my parents' place. And after shopping, I'd come out of the supermarket, and I I'd bought everything, all the groceries that we needed. And because my wife had told me she needed me to pick up some things, so I got most of the things. But when I got back in the car and I put the groceries in the car, I my mind was telling me you are not done yet. And I've said it before. For me, I'm a very spiritual person. I try to listen as much as possible to what my soul tells me, what the spirit is laying on my soul to tell me. So I felt a discomfort, and my mind was telling me, you aren't done with your shopping. And I looked at the list. I said, I'm done. Everything I couldn't find, I didn't buy, but everything I could find, I bought. And my mind said, you need to go back in there. And I said, go back in there. I'm going to go. I just came out of that place, showed them my receipt, and you want me to go back up in there? I said, you're not done. Go back in there. I was like, wow. Okay, so I'm not done. So I need to go back in there. So I went back in there, not knowing what I was looking for. So I went from floor to floor, just saying, okay, what did I miss out? What did I miss out? And I got to this floor where they sell pet food. And I looked and I said, that's what you missed out. You ought to buy food for that cat. And at the point, I felt very upset with myself, and I was like, why? I'd completed my activities here, and I had to come back to buy pet food for a cat. And I was like, oh man, but I'm here already. I might as well just buy it. So I bought the pet food. I bought some cans of cat food, and I got back into the car. So I said, okay, now I have to stop at my parents' place to drop this off. And once I got there, I about to drop the cat food at their place. I saw the cat again, and the cat came out. And when I looked at the cat, I realized that the cat was pregnant again. Because now I could tell. I saw the bulge again. And I called my dad. I said, Daddy, do you know this cat is pregnant again? And said, yes, he realized that the cat is pregnant. And I gave my dad the cat food. And this is where I'm going. When I left my parents' place, I had this voice within me. My spirit told me that I care about that cat enough to stop you in your tracks to provide for it. I care about the children or the kittens that cat is carrying in its womb. And I know it needs food. And that's why I had to put it in your mind to get that food at that time. And that was very incredible to me. Because then what came to my mind afterwards blew my mind. And what came to my mind was also a voice that said, I care about people way more than I care about this cat. I love people way more than I care about this cat. Unfortunately, people are not aware of how much I care about them. And you need to make people aware. And that's why you do this podcast. You must make people aware about how much I care about them and how fine they would do and how they do not need to worry. You see, that message was very strong in my heart. And that's why I said I was going to record this as a podcast, because I felt a prompting, an instruction to record this today for somebody. It told me, I care about the cat, and I'm not going to let this cat starve and die with this pregnancy. No, it needs special food right now. And I'm going to make you, just like I made your dad, the provider of that special food. You wouldn't know why you wouldn't be able to shake off the thought of that cat from your mind till you buy what it wants. But you are going to buy what that cat needs to survive. And I care more about people than I do for that cat. So a lot of people are hustling their way, but they don't understand that I've already made provision for them. I've already put their thought in someone's mind to provide that thing for them. But then a lot of people are not positioned where they should be in front of that apartment because they are busy moving around trying to make provision for themselves. So this podcast today is to tell somebody out there, and I hope it's more than one person. It's a very simple message that you will be fine. You will be fine. Over the past few days, I've had conversations with people in my mentoring group, and a lot of the conversation have revolved around trying to reassure them that they will be fine. Despite what the economy says, despite what your job situation is, despite what your financial situation is, you will be fine. That cat, that pregnant cat, is not worth half as much as what you are worth in God's eyes. But God will not ignore the needs of that pregnant cat. I had to spend out of my personal resources, and I'll have you know that pet food is not cheap today. But I not only did it break the flow of my own day, I had to go back into a supermarket, go back upstairs, and wander through the supermarket again and buy this thing that was not given for free. I had to buy it with my money. You understand? I had to buy it because that cat had to eat. You are more special than that cat. And God knows you have to eat. But He doesn't want you to eat by your hustle. He's going to send what you need to you because He has put it in somebody's heart. Whatever it is, when I say eat, I'm not just talking food or stuff. Some of you need particular things and you're thinking, oh, how will I make it through without provision? You understand? And you're seeing this huge gap between your need and what you have, your provision you have to cover up this need. But I'm saying that need will not be covered up by you. It's going to be covered up by someone that would look favorably on you. It is. It is. I can guarantee you this. And to be honest, that's what this podcast is about. It's about giving you hope. I realize that my biggest message through my podcast is to give people a sense of hope. Because hope is one of the scarcest resources in the world today. Very scarce. I talk with people day in, day out, and there are so many people that have no hope in their lives. And I'm here to tell you that you have a carer, you have a maker, you have a father that wants to take care of you. And He will take care of you. He will not let you die. He knows what you need. He knows your situation. There are people that would help you and they wouldn't even know why they are helping you. And they will help you without trying to own you. Those are the true helpers. They will help you without being a burden to you. They will help you without taunting you. They will help you without reminding you that they helped you. They will help you and love you. And you will be free to do what you ought to do with your life. I want to tell you that a lot of you don't have hope because you feel help is not coming. But I want to tell you that help, you would never be short of help. Once you can have that mentality in your mind that you would be all right, once you can have that thought grounded in your mind that you'll be all right, you're more courageous. I think more people need to know that they'll be all right, that they'll be taken care of. You understand? More people need to know that they'll be all right. They need to know that they'll be all right. And you know what? I'm not even talking about. A lot of people feel, how will I be all right? I'm not very, I'm not very spiritually active. You understand? So I'm not, my faith is not very strong. You understand? So a lot of people feel, and I'm so far away from God. No, no, no. I'm not even talking about your spiritual investment. I'm talking about being all right just by being a creation. Just by being a creation. You see, the cat doesn't have any faith. Doesn't have any faith, doesn't pray. You understand? It is all right by just being a creation of the creator. You understand? So we must understand that. Don't let anybody manipulate you to think you are all right because of an investment. You are all right because you belong to something that created you. And that thing now has an obligation to take care of you. I hope people can really understand this. Once you have it in your mind that you'll be all right, you'll be more courageous. The other day I was talking to one of my mentees, and he was telling me about, a job he's in that he's not very comfortable with, and we've been having this conversation for a very long time, for over a year now. And just talking with him some days ago, he told me he was still at the job, a job he doesn't like, a job that is obviously bringing him a lot of sadness. A lot of sadness. And I was surprised that he's still at the job. And I asked him, why are you still at this job? What are you scared of? And he said, I'm scared. If I leave the job, I won't be able to pay my rent. I'll be able to pay up for this. I'll be able to afford this. I'll be able to pay for food. I'll be able to do this. And he was scared that he will be helpless without the job. And I realized the gap in information that him and a lot of people feel, that gap of that very important short information. You will be fine. You will be fine. A lot of people are not fine, not because God is not providing for them. It's because when the provision comes, they are not there. They've moved because they start to hustle and panic and move from place to place. So it's just like that cat. When it realized it was pregnant and started having like increased hunger pang, and the owner wasn't taking care, he came directly to the door of my parents for some reason. You understand? So it was led there and he stayed there. Now imagine if he had come one day, left the other, come for 5 minutes, because there are so many flats in that estate. Imagine if he was going up and down. He will not stay long enough for someone to actually find it. You understand? So it's not like God has not touched someone's heart, but then you need to stay at a place where the person's heart that you've touched can find you. But you can't stay if you are a hustler. Because the thing about hustlers is hustlers never think they will be fine. So they always try to make things fine. Once you have it in your mind that you'll be all right, you would come to a state of mind that is called rest. And when you come to a state of mind that is called rest, your positioning would be more structured and stable, and help will be able to find you. So one thing about help is about staying still. Help, staying still, staying in a place. You understand? Staying there and allowing people to find you there. When you scuttle and go from place to place, when your helper comes to a particular place, it doesn't meet you. You've moved again. You need to be able to stay. But you can only stay if you know at the back of your mind that you'll be fine. Some of you are not courageous enough to leave that job that is affecting your health, affecting your sleep, affecting your eating pattern, affecting your relationship, affecting your joy, because you don't have it in your mind that you'll be fine. So you think that if that job should go, your life has ended. But I want to tell you that that's not true. That's not true. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Some of you are staying in toxic relationships because you're like, okay, man, if I lose this person, no other person for me. If I lose this person, this guy, this girl, where will I find another person? I won't be fine. Nobody else will take me. No, that's not true. You'll be fine. Be courageous. You need to be courageous and understand that you'll be fine. There's already a plan for you. A plan for you to be taken care of. There's a plan. And that's what upsets me so much with religious societies like Nigeria. It upsets me a lot because religion is meant to be a great liberator, but then it has become one of the greatest limitations in people's lives. Greatest. If you're a religious person, you should be someone that is full of hope. But I realize that the religious people mostly are the ones that are filled with a sense of helplessness the most. And I'm like, so what are you going to your church to listen to? And if you don't go to church, what are you going to your mosque to listen to? Or if you're not going to mosque, where are you going to? Wherever it is that you are getting faith in quote from, what are you going there? What are they telling you there? If after going there, you still come out and you're still as fearful as the guy that doesn't go there, if not even more fearful, still have no courage, then what is the faith you're shining? And I'm going to talk to the Christian faith right now because that's my faith. So let me stick there. If you go to church every Sunday, what are they telling you if you're still scared to leave a toxic job? So what did you learn on Sunday that you cannot apply on Monday? That your boss now becomes so much of a god that is able to trample on your humanity, and you go there day in, day out and say, oh, if I leave it, then how will my life be? Then what are they teaching in church? Because this is what I was telling my mentee. I said, your church, you know how Formula One races are. Formula One races, when the cars are racing, they always have pit stops. And at the pit stop, people will check your cars, check your engine, check your tires, check, everything, check your fuel, and you get everything put back in place. If your tires are deflated, put back. If your fuel is going down, they refuel you, and then you're good to go again. Another lap. Once you make a pit stop, you shouldn't carry certain errors with you. You shouldn't carry certain disadvantages with you. Just like my tire, if you come out of your pit stop and your tire is still deflated, you're still not sure about your tire, then your team at the pit stop, they're not a good team. You need to fire them. Why should I be at the pit stop and 1 minute later I'm still feeling like my tire, the pressure is not accurate, or I'm still feeling like my fuel isn't enough. No. And a church is like a pit stop. So you should go to church, and it should give you enough energy, enough clarity, enough courage to go through that week, knowing that you will be fine. Being able to say no to things and saying, no, I'm not going to take this. No, I'm leaving this. And even though I'm leaving this thing, I will be fine. Even though I'm leaving this job, I'll be fine. Even though this client is not paying me, I'll be fine. Even though this person is going to jilt me, I'll be fine. Even though this person that is treating me badly, I'm going to do away with them, I'll be fine. Even though this sponsor says he won't sponsor me anymore, I'll be fine. If your church is not a pit stop that is allowing you to know that you will be fine, then I'm sorry to say your church is not giving you enough. You need to change that church. Because the biggest thing that the human being needs is hope. Hope is what enhances and liberates the human spirit. So if you're not getting hope, then your religion or how you're practicing your religion is rubbish. If it doesn't leave you hopeful, you will be fine. Just like that cat was fine. If my dad had to stop in his tracks to feed that cat that needed food, how much more will God make someone stop for you so that you do not die? That thought that you would die if this thing stops and nobody would help you is not true. It's not true. It is not true. It's a lie. It's the biggest limiting lie that human beings believe, that I will not be fine if I make this particular decision that is to get rid of this thing that is adversely affecting me. To feel like your life is hinged on someone or something that you need to endure, that is killing you, but then it's killing you slowly. So you might as well endure it, because if you stop it, you will die fast. That's not true. It is not true. And I also want to know that today, if that's all you leave with from today's podcast, let it be that you'll be fine. That you'll be fine. Because there is hope and you have a helper.